Hey guys, it's Kai, and we're gonna be sipping some tea. Super hot. You already know what it's about. My first date with the girl.
Why are you such a copycat?
Okay, sync. Happy holidays. That sounded like shit. But what's up? So today we're gonna be sipping some tea or coffee. You saw me make the coffee, you know it's coffee. But I don't know, I just randomly got a spurt of energy today to film out of absolutely nowhere. Like I literally couldn't get out of bed all day yesterday. I was still stuck in bed most of today and then randomly was like, you know what? Let me get up, let me do some Christmas decorations, which ended up being one string light. I don't know if that vlog's gonna be out before or after this video, but got real sweaty. Still am real sweaty actually from trying to set all this stuff up too. I'm just hoping I'm gonna cool down before the end of the video. Anyway, I just look so pretty in here and I haven't filmed in ages and I was like, let me just sit down and film something. I'm accidentally wearing Christmas colors anyway, even though it's super hot. A quick disclaimer, I have no idea what's going on with the audio right there. I put in my new microphone and for whatever reason, it like didn't fully work and some of the time it sounded super weird and echoey and some of the time it didn't. It worked perfectly fine when I used it for the podcast, so I think it's just plugging it into that computer and doing it the way that I did. I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out a new strategy, but please ignore the sound of the dog eating the bone in the background. This video is gonna have a little bit of audio weirdness, but I hope you enjoyed anyway, I guess. I'm frustrated. But I also ran a poll on Twitter the other day asking like what kinds of videos you guys wanted to see more. I had like vlogs, you know, editorial type things, because I want to start doing more like deep dive, like kind of what I used to do with Poppy, you know, that kind of like bunch of research and put together like a well done video. Those are actually like some of my most popular videos, and they were the ones that I was like the most proud of at the time and still actually am when I think back on them. Like I put a lot of work into those, and if you haven't seen them, you should go watch them. But I miss doing stuff like that. I mean, my minor in college was journalism for a reason. It wasn't, I mean, it was supposed to be like a practical backup that I'm probably never going to really use, but like I figure I should at least use some of the skills that I got from that. Currently, the winner on the poll is story times, and I haven't told one in a minute. Hopefully I'll stop sweating before the end of this one. Oh my god, how many times am I going to talk about the fact that I'm sweating? I don't know. But I thought it was time that I finally jump into this. So this is something that I've actually been wanting to talk about for a while. You've obviously seen the title, you already know what it's about. My first date with the girl. It was actually kind of a disaster, and it was a whole thing. So okay, I of course didn't even realize that I was into girls until I was about 19. I just thought I was super picky about boys and that was it, but no, I like most girls, and with boys I'm just super picky, and that's why, and I didn't realize that till I was pretty much out of college. And okay, so about a year, I want to say, after I realized it, I was kind of like, well, maybe I should start dating girls. I don't know. I was like taking the minor crushes that I had on some of my friends because it was just like, oh, she's pretty and we're friends, so that must mean I like her, because I had never really given myself permission to like a girl before, so I didn't really know what that felt like. And I had this friend who we are going to call Kelly. I don't know. Okay, so Kelly, I was friends with Kelly. I met her through a guy that I was friends with at the time, who I actually talked about in that pruning a rosemary while talking about my ex-friend or something. I don't remember exactly what I called it, but that friend, I met her through him. She was a freshman. I think I was a junior in college, and she was cute, but I had never really thought like, oh, I should like flirt with her. I honestly didn't even think she was gay. I thought she was straight. But you know, I mean, she was a gamer girl. She was pretty cute, and I was like, all right, yeah, like there's like a mini crush, but not anything that I'd ever really act on. It's okay. You're a good boy. He was literally begging to go outside a minute ago, and now that I'm filming, he's like, wait, I want to come back in. I'm hoping you can't hear the whining. Anyway, no, we weren't really like close friends. I pretty much only ever talked to her whenever she was coming in with whatever I called him. But I talked to her a couple times when I was working at the coffee shop, or I'd be like in the coffee shop and he'd come in to say hi and she'd be with him because they were really close, I guess. I don't know. And again, I mean, I never really considered anything with her. I was like, you know, yeah, I think she's cute, but I would never pursue anything with her. And then one day I was closing at the coffee shop and she just kind of hung around during close and was talking to me while I was doing stuff, and we let her stay in there. I don't really know why. Usually we had to kick everybody out, but I guess it was fine. I don't know. But while we were doing closing duties, she was allowed to stay in there for a little bit and talk to me, and it actually came up that she was also bi. And we started, you know, doing the whole like, oh my god, like I just want to find a girlfriend, like how is it so, like, you know, you flirt with a girl and you have to be like, no, I'm trying to be gay, not just kind of trying to compliment you or what, you know, that whole conversation. If you're gay, you know the conversation. Now we did actually have to kick her out, but she was like, yeah, come hang out with me afterwards, like I'll wait for you. So she waited for me outside while we completely finished up, locked up the doors, did all the cash counting, all that other stuff, and then I went to meet her outside. Now the conversation actually at that point was about the friend and how he had been talking shit about me or something, something. I don't know. It just basically a bunch of shit talking and then just like regular talking and stuff. And she was like, well, I hope we can hang out sometime, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, totally. Because we weren't really close. Like I said, I had talked to her a couple of times, but you know, we weren't really friends. And then that night, the person I was living with at the time, we were out shopping or something at Walmart or Target or something. I really don't remember, but we were out somewhere and she called me. And again, we had literally just exchanged numbers that day. Like I don't know. But she calls me, like, inviting me over to her house because apparently they had drinks or something. It was like her brother and her. So we drove over there. It was like 45 minutes out of the way. Oh my God, you're making me lose my train of thought. So anyway, we get over there. It's literally like this big, huge house. It's just her and her brother. Apparently her parents were away for the weekend or whatever. Her brother was like, I don't know, like mid-20s or something. I don't remember. He had like just moved back home or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So it's the four of us, right? It's me, my friend, Kelly, and then her brother. And she has a bunch of alcohol. We get there right away. She makes me, I forget what it's called, but it's the only time I've ever had it. It's like Red Bull and Jaeger or something. Jaeger bomb, that's what it is. I've never had it any other time. I hated it that time, but I drank it. You know, we all got kind of drunk. And then she pulls out like card games. I think we were playing like the Cyanide and Happiness one, and we were all too drunk to figure it out because we had never actually played it before. Her brother kept making really uncomfortable comments about me and my chest area. Fun tip, I generally don't tell guys that I'm bi. I'll say I'm gay, especially if I'm not interested. Like, don't even entertain the idea because a lot of the time, super fun stigma time. If you tell a guy that you're bi, a lot of the time they'll be like, does that mean she wants a threesome with me? That must mean that, because all bi girls must be attracted to me and all other girls too. So I don't know. Apparently, if you are not straight, you can't have actually like a choice. You're just attracted to everyone of the gender that you like, or genders, whatever. Anyway, it made me super uncomfortable. I made a couple of comments and my friend was also stepping in like, yo, like she's gay, like stop. Eventually, Kelly actually wound up apologizing to me about her brother's behavior. She didn't really stop it when he was doing it, but after the fact, when he like went up to bed, she was like, hey, I'm sorry if that was weird. I was like, it was, but I guess it's fine because he's gone now. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so it ends up just being me, Kelly, and then the friend that I had brought, right? And we're sitting there drinking, and the friend was like relentlessly flirting with her. She was flirting with me. I was flirting with her, and then my friend also was flirting with her like incessantly. Like even when I had made it clear at one point, I like texted them at one point and was like, yo, maybe stop. She actually ends up asking me out, right? So we're sitting there, we're drunk, we're again having the conversation like, oh my God, like I just wish I had a girlfriend, like I just want to go on a gay date. And she was like, wait, Kai, will you go on a gay date with me? And I was like, okay. And she was like, oh my God, wait, I'm so excited. And I was like, yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna go on a gay date. And she kept just saying, oh my God, guys, I have a gay date. Like as if I weren't there saying it to me. She was really drunk. We were pretty drunk. She was really drunk. I don't know, but whatever. So we make a plan. We're like, yes, we're gonna go on a gay date next week. We set the day. I think it was like a Monday or something. I don't know. But we coordinated the time. We actually went out and got ice cream at one point because she lived like right next to like a shopping center. So we got some. We went back. We ate ice cream even though I was lactose intolerant. I don't know what I was doing, but it's fine. And then, you know, by that point we had pretty much sobered up. So I decided it was time to leave. We could have spent the night, but I kind of would have felt weird about that because her brother was making weird comments. And also at this point, we're gonna go on a date. Should I not stay over? I don't know, dude. Whatever. So we left. And she actually also, when we were drunk, had admitted that the only reason that she invited me over is because everyone else that she invited had said no or had been like, yeah, I'll be there, and then just never showed up. I don't know. Love being a last resort. Great start to what could have been a relationship. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, but I will just say, even that night when we were talking about having our gay date, there was literally zero spark. Like it still felt like we were just like friends, like planning on like an outing to like go hang out. Like it didn't feel like a date. And at first I figured, well, maybe that's just because I've never dated a girl before. Maybe that's what it feels like. I was wrong. Not that I've had like a relationship with a girl at this point, but I have been on like a couple of dates with a girl, and that was very different. I actually wanted to kiss that girl. This girl, I was just like, I guess she's kind of attractive. Anyway, so Monday rolls around, because I think that was like a Friday or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Monday rolls around, and since she was a freshman, she didn't have her own car, so I was driving us, but I was gonna meet her there, and we decided to go to Taco Bell. Taco Bell is like one of my favorite places in the world, so at the time I didn't think, I mean, I still don't think it's like a terrible place to like have a date. I was still down, but it just felt weird. I don't know. Okay, so first off, she showed up like not in date clothes at all. She wore like a bunch of black and red, and like, yeah, it was a cool outfit, but I was like, I mean, I guess okay. Like, I don't remember what I wore, but I like put extra effort into my outfit to try and like look all cute and whatever. And like, is that really your date outfit though? Because that just looks like you're going to high school. Maybe that was what, I don't know. It felt weird. Anyway, she kept saying stuff like, wait, can I be the boy and pay for us? It's not really how that works, but sure, you can do that, I guess. That's fine. She's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna like like be the boy on this date. I'm gonna take you places, even though I was driving to the places. It was a weird dynamic. We're moving on. So we get to Taco Bell, we're sitting there, we're ordering our food, and the very beginning is just so awkward because all she's talking about is like, I'm so glad I'm on a gay date, like saying it over and over again, and I'm just sitting there like, can stop saying that we're on a gay date. I'm aware that we're on a date. Like, can we talk about something other than the fact that we're on a date? Like, this is weird. So it's kind of awkward conversation. There's not a whole lot to be said. Like, we talked more when we weren't on a date, which I guess makes sense because dates can be kind of awkward, especially when it's like the first one out of nowhere. I don't know, dude. I kept trying to be like in my brain, like, yo, like, hey, we're on a date. This is a date. Like, let's, you know, make it like a date. But also it didn't feel like a date at all. Like, I was just sitting there like, yep, just hanging out with this person I just became friends with. Asexual things, I don't know, but there was no spark. And so I was about to drive us back to campus after Taco Bell because I figured that was the end of the date, and she was like, oh, let's go to this vape store that's like right over that way. So I was like, okay, sure. So we went in there and we sat at this bar, literally empty. It's the middle of the day. I'd never been in there before, but she was a real big vape person. That was like right when it started getting popular anyway. But so we go in and she like already knows this guy. Like, she's been there like a million times, and she's like, we're just gonna test a bunch of flavors. So like, it was a way to do it for free. I'm all for finding free and cheap ways to do things, but it was also like weird. It just felt weird. It didn't, I don't know how many more times I'm gonna say it. Like, it felt like we were hanging out, but it felt like she found this like cool hack and was like, oh my god, friend, let's go do this thing together so I don't have to do it alone. Like, that's what it felt like. So we were trying a couple of the vape flavors, and it was like a vape bar or something. I didn't know that was even a thing, but whatever. The flavors were fine, but it was awkward because the guy was just hovering, knowing fully well that we weren't actually gonna buy anything, but still having to give us the flavors, and I felt awkward. And I'm also just not a vape person. It felt weird. And again, she kept, even while we were there, being like, we're on a gay date, and like, okay. she was telling people around us too, like, I know we're on a date, okay, can you treat it like a date instead of telling everybody that we're on a date? It was weird. It was just weird. Again, if it hadn't been so awkward, I think the places would have been great to be able to tell people, oh yeah, our first date was like at a Taco Bell and a vape place. Like, I think that's fun. But because of how awkward it was just weird. So after that, we drive back to school. We go our separate ways, but we're still both on campus all day. So it wasn't like you go on, it was literally, I'm telling you, it was like literally noon. And then we just like went our separate ways and like kept like bumping back into each other on campus being like, hey, what's up again? It felt so awkward. I don't know. And so I'm sitting here like, was that a good date? I don't feel like, at that point I had never actually been on a date outside of a relationship. So not only was it my first gay date, it was also just my first date in general. And I'm sitting there like, did that go well? Like, I don't know. Like, I think we hugged goodbye, but I mean, there was like no hand holding. There was no any kind of like flirting even during the thing. It wasn't like, I think at the very beginning we were like, oh, you look nice. And that was it. Whatever. So at the end, yeah, like we hugged and we went our separate ways or whatever, and we kind of like loosely decided on having a second date but didn't actually set a time. And I'm sitting there throughout the day like, what, that was uncomfortable. Is it going to be like that every time? Am I going to have to date this girl and just not enjoy any of it? That's not how that works though. So fast forward a couple of days, and I have told a couple of my friends about this. I obviously haven't talked to what's his face. I don't remember what I called him, so we're not going to give him a new name. I'm just going to say what's his face because you know who I'm talking about. I don't know if she talked to him about me or not. I don't know, but whatever. But I told like my D&D friends about it, and I remember there was one day because we played D&D once a week, and we did back then too. So it was like every Wednesday, which is the only consistent thing in my life. That was kind of a joke, but not really. Okay, anyway. So I remember I was at D&D and we took our break in between, and she had texted me like, hey, can I call you? So on our little break in the middle of the session, I was like, yeah, sure. Go ahead and call me. Or I think I called her. I don't really remember, whatever. But we had a phone call and she was like, hey, so I had a really good time today. I was like, I'm thinking, is this gonna be, I don't know. Cause it was also like every time we bumped into each other, she's like, hey, so I had a good time today. So this is the girl I went on a date with earlier. I don't know. It felt like too fast and also too slow at the same time. Whatever. So I was like, yeah, me too. And she was like, listen, would you be mad at me if I said I didn't necessarily want to go on a second date? And I was like, like a weight had been lifted. It was only like a couple days later, or was it the same day actually? I don't remember anymore.
I already clearly said that the date was on Monday, and then this call was during D&D on Wednesday, so it was 2 days later. Why was that so hard to remember? I don't know.
But I was like, no, not at all. No, not at all. I kind of was feeling like it was fun, but it felt like we were just friends. And she was like, oh my god, yes, same. Oh my god. I was like trying to keep up the front earlier, but it was like so awkward. And I was like, Yeah. Especially because she wound up bringing, okay, after this, she wound up dating a guy who she actually was walking with that day, the first time that she bumped into me after the date and was like, hey, this is the girl I went on a gay date with. And she wound up dating him later. Anyway, but she was like, oh my God, yeah, I totally agree. And then we hung up and that was the end of that. I don't really know if that counts as a story time, but it was just the most awkward experience I ever had. I felt like this weird like obligation to be emotionally invested with her, even though like we had barely even talked before this. We had talked a couple of times, we knew of each other, but the first real conversation we had, it was like conversation, go to her house for drinks because none of her friends would go over there for drinks, go on a date a couple days later, and then a couple days after that be like, oh my God, would you be so mad if I'm breaking up with you even though we were never really dating? Exhausting is all I'm gonna say. And I don't know, it was a little bit awkward after that anytime I'd see her, just because it was like, I don't know, it was a little bit weird. I think she unfollowed me on Instagram or something, I'm not totally sure, but we're still friends on Facebook, which I only realized the other day, which is the only reason why this is even on my mind, because I was like, what was that experience? But anyway, that's gonna be about all for this video. I can't believe I've only talked for 20 minutes. Like, who am I? I do have some other stories, so let me know if you guys want to hear about the other girl that I did actually go on a couple of dates with, or any of my other weird ass stories, because I have some, I just haven't really been telling them. I meant to be drinking coffee during this, but it was too hot. Anyway, I'm gonna peace out. I do have a little audition thing that I need to film for, I think it was a commercial or something. I finally signed up for an acting website and have been submitting myself, and I got like an audition that I need to film, so I'm gonna do that while everything's already set up and I don't have to work any extra. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, especially this week's Shot of the Week across the screen right here. Thanks for hanging around. I was gonna say something cheesy, like I'd take you to Taco Bell, but I was like, would that be weird? I don't know. Thanks for hanging around. Okay, for real though, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Give me those thumbs and share this video if you like me, please. I sweated a lot, a lot. Oh my God, stay sweaty, my dudes, and I'll see you in the next one.
Why are you such a copycat?
He literally has been quiet all day, and then I start talking to a camera and he's like, oh, yikes. All right.